Hello, welcome, and thanks for joining us on this edition of News 2. I'm Sandra Mansing. A recent change to the law means the VI elections calendar dates will be moved up. That gives prospective candidates just 7 months left to prepare for the election. And the Democratic Party will hold a membership meeting Saturday to help them get ahead. News2's Erica Parsons has that story.
Political hopefuls for the 2014 race have a little less time to prepare. Governor DeYoung recently signed into law a bill that would bring the territory into compliance with the Federal Military and Overseas Voter Empowerment, or MOVE Act. That law pushes the VI elections calendar forward.
Of course, they're going to have folks running for Senate, but in this election year, the open seats are going to be for the governor and the delegate as well. And the Democratic Party, we're preparing for that election, and now these changes in dates in July and in May is going to cause us to have to work a little bit faster in preparation of our candidates for what I believe is going to be a very interesting challenge this year.
The new law changes filing and other dates for the primary and general elections, but it also moves the primary election from September to August. Election systems officials will be at a Democrats meeting on Saturday to address how changing this law will affect candidates in next year's run for office.
We're inviting the election board system to come in and give a demonstration of the machines that we're going to be using. There's still some concerns about that. I think we'll be fine, but just to get the public on board to ease their anxieties. Additionally, we're going to have members of the election system there to speak to our audience again.
Elections officials are training in St. Thomas this week, and they haven't updated the elections calendars yet. The district chair wants that addressed as soon as possible.
I'm encouraging them to do that, to give the public enough time to be educated on the changes. Because, like I said, it's a big election. We expect a lot of changes in our leadership, and they need to be prepared in order to make the right decision.
And the Democratic leadership will make sure their candidates make the cut.
I will be preparing a report in how to prepare with the adjustments of these dates in order for us to win the election.
Erica Parsons, News 2.
The Democrats' general membership meeting to address those changes will be Saturday, November 16th at 10 a.m. at the Curriculum Center on St. Croix. Police on St. Thomas arrested a man who was seen on surveillance camera taking items from Kmart without paying for them. George Covington, 51 years of age, was arrested about 3:15 p.m. on November 13. Police said he took a variety of personal hygiene products from the Kmart store in Lockhart Gardens. His bail was set at $35,000 and he was remanded to the Bureau of Corrections pending his advice of rights hearing. Senate President Sean Michael Malone announced today that the 30th legislature ended fiscal year 2013 with a $17.1 thousand of its annual appropriation returned unexpended to the Treasury. He said this is a significant turnaround of the Senate's financial status, which was $1.46 million in deficit at the end of fiscal year 2010, with thousands of dollars owed to vendors. The legislature's annual operating budget is $18.5 million, and the first branch of government employs 255 Virgin Islanders on central and senatorial staff. He added that from the commencement of the term of the 30th legislature, strong steps were taken to control expenditures, such as eliminating senators' cell phones, reducing travel-related per diem expenses, eliminating senators' personal use of government vehicles, and reducing fleet of vehicles, reducing paper use and utility costs, and even sharing excess space on St. John with other governmental entities. The 7th National Health Disparities Conference has just begun at the Sugar Bay Resort on St. Thomas. This is the second time that the health conference is being held in the territory, the first one on St. Croix. This year, the organizers focused on social determinants that contribute to unequal health care concerning minority populations. News2's April Knight has that story.
With health disparity in their crosshairs, healthcare professionals and stakeholders from around the nation gathered, this time on St. Thomas, to explore imbalances in healthcare at the 7th National Conference on Health Disparities. The theme, reducing health disparities through sustaining and strengthening healthy communities.
This year, the conference looks at social factors that contribute to unequal healthcare, including race, poverty, lack of education, and location.
It's focused on the social determinants of health and personal responsibilities of persons to take care of themselves and to be proactive.
Education, housing, where you live, work and play. And of course you have to look at environmental issues, clean water and air. All of those things together will help us reduce health disparities.
Over a 4-day period starting Wednesday, some 300 participants listen and interact with expert speakers and panelists.
Healthy, exercise-friendly hairstyles, so you can exercise and still look cute.
They come from a variety of agencies, like environmental agencies, from state government, from local government, federal government. All these people play a role.
Topics such as climate change, human trafficking, gun violence, personal responsibility, the roles of the public and private sectors, and their impact on health are on the agenda. On display are research exhibits that look at different populations and the health issues they normally face.
Access is one. People who are minorities are sicker, they die earlier, they have more loss of time at work because of their illness. They don't have health insurance.
The conference ends with a panel discussion with congressional leaders to explore ways on how all the talk during the conference could be translated to action in real life. April Knight for News 2.
The 7th National Health Disparities Conference, which started Wednesday, November 13th, will continue at the Sugar Bay Resort until Saturday, November 16th, when congressional panelists are scheduled to convene. Delegate Donna Christensen says the VA Caribbean healthcare system in San Juan, Puerto Rico is interviewing finalists for permanent physician positions at the veteran centers on St. Thomas and St. Croix. Congresswoman Christensen learned in September that the St. Thomas Vet Center outstation had been without a physician for nearly a month. Christensen received an update on the search for a permanent physician from VA Caribbean Health System Director Dwayne Hamlin during his visit to the territory Saturday, and learned that the final interviews were underway for permanent physicians at the clinics. The VA is also working to ensure that the St. Croix Vet Center is permanently covered. Senator Tregenza Roach met with some 30 seniors who oppose the Department of Human Services' plan to close the Adrian Senior Center and move them to a program at St. Ursula's Church. Senator Roach is frustrated that the department also moved to offer the activity and enrichment programs to only 2 days per week. According to Roach, moving the center to another site and reducing the number of days that activities will be offered will be a hardship to seniors on St. John. He adds that it's likely many of the seniors will not participate in the activities at St. Ursula's if the change pulls through. Assistant Commissioner of Human Services, Mikal Reimer-Brown, said that the department will continue to look at other options and will close the center only as a last resort. And News 2 will keep you updated on that. Under pressure from congressional Democrats and angry voters, President Obama is making a change to the Affordable Care Act. Now, if you like your current health care plan, you can keep it, at least for another year. Danielle Nottingham reports from Capitol Hill.
For nearly 5 million Americans who got cancellation notices from their health care provider, the White House has a fix.
I said that I would do everything we can to fix this problem, and today I'm offering an idea that will help do it.
The White House is giving insurance companies the option to keep offering plans that would have otherwise been canceled through 2014. Providers will also have to make clear what the plans do not include and let consumers know what other new options are available in the federal exchanges.
Now, this fix won't solve every problem for every person, but it's going to help a lot of people.
President Obama spoke and took questions for nearly an hour and took blame for the problems.
We fumbled the rollout on this health care law.
The White House policy change comes as House Republicans move to provide their own fix.
The only way to fully protect the American people is to scrap this law once and for all.
Speaker John Boehner will introduce legislation on Friday allowing consumers to keep their current insurance plans permanently, not just for 1 year. Danielle Nottingham, CBS News, Capitol Hill.
Meanwhile, aid is slowly beginning to trickle into the 11 million people affected by Typhoon Haiyan. Nearly 10 tons of food arrived today in battered city of Tacloban in the Philippines. The mayor urged people to evacuate to other cities today because food, water, medical care, and shelter are in such short supply. The death toll stands at more than 2,300, with more than 600,000 displaced or homeless. U.S. officials say logistical bottlenecks are slowly easing, and 1,000 American troops are expected on the ground by Friday. A sense of anarchy and hopelessness still pervades many areas as villagers see no organized efforts to help them. Thousands of families have flocked to airports hoping to escape the disaster zone. In the meantime, they're hoping the aid that had been stuck in Manila and neighboring islands arrives soon. Keeping our eye on the economy, unemployment is slightly down, with the Labor Department reporting the number of people applying for benefits slipped by 2,000. This is the 5th straight week of decline. This is the New York Stock Exchange with Scotiabank Stock Market Watch. The Dow, Nasdaq, S&P all up. The Dow 54, Nasdaq 7, S&P 8. Coming up on News 2, a penny can add up to make a big difference. In collaboration with Banco Popular, the Nigel O'Hodge Foundation is having a penny drive for the month of November. Receptacles are placed at all branches for easy access. Senate President Sean Michael Malone is inviting the Virgin Islands community to attend the dedication ceremony on the grounds of the Earl B. Otley Legislative Hall on Friday, November 22nd, starting at 9 a.m. as members of the 30th Legislature will pay homage to the late Senate President Lorraine Berry by naming the legislative annex in her honor. Senator Berry is the only member of the VI legislature to have served 12 consecutive terms. During her tenure as a public servant, she chaired 8 committees, served as a majority leader, and as Senate President, twice the second of only 2 women in Virgin Islands history to have served as president. The Supreme Court of the Virgin Islands and the Virgin Islands Bar Association recognize all the contributions of Judge Vern A. Hodge and his more than 20 years of service as the presiding judge of the Territorial Court, now Superior Court of the Virgin Islands. Hosted by the Superior Court of the VI, a portrait was unveiled during a ceremony at the ceremonial courtroom at the Alexander Farrelly Justice Center on Wednesday. The entertainment was by none other than the Superior Court Rising Stars Youth Steel Orchestra, which was founded by Judge Hodge in 1981. The Nigel O'Hodge Foundation is looking for your pennies or anything higher during their penny drive. Earlier today, the foundation donated to Gomez school teacher Allison Ford, who was injured when the school ceiling collapsed. Ms. Ford's son is suffering from an illness. One father is already grateful to the foundation for their help during the treatment of his daughter, who had open heart surgery.
I heard about the foundation and I explained to them the problems with my daughter, and they helped me out with round-trip plane tickets and food and everything, and food for me and my daughter for the weekly stay. And it was very helpful to me. At least it's one less thing for me to worry about.
The foundation provide information, financial assistance to children that have medical needs.
We're going to have canisters in all the banks. So we want you to bring your pennies, your nickels, your dimes, your quarters. We're not prejudiced. We even like $100 bills to the Nigel O'Hodge Foundation and put.
Well, have you always wanted to turn to local USDA certified organic produce to become an easy part of your weekly diet? You can invest in the VI community-supported Rich to Reef Farm. For 14 weeks, both seasons, shareholders receive a bag or box of mixed produce at one of 4 locations in the USVI. They give you cooking tips and farm updates in a weekly e-newsletter. If you want to take part in this next veggie-rich winter season, you must secure your share as soon as possible. You will not want to miss out on the vast array of greens, root crops, fruits, tomatoes, and vegetables currently being cultivated. You can call 220-0466. That's 220-0466 for more information. Well, want to try something a little different? Get ready to swing the night away at an evening of swing. The West Indian Company Limited's November Centennial Concert from 5 to 9 p.m. on Tuesday, November 19th on the West Indian Company dock is where you'll find that. Swing is a form of music that became popular in the 1930s and 40s, America's Depression era, by big band artists such as Duke Ellington, Benny Goodman, and Glenn Miller. Rita Printup, composer, arranger, harpist, and vocalist from the Lincoln Center House of Swing, will be the featured vocalist. She has recorded with Yo-Yo Ma, Winston Marsalis. Printup will be accompanied by Dion Parson on drums, Aaron Holbrook on saxophone, Carlton Holmes on piano, and Paul Bedry on bass. Well, as we speak, many are currently sampling some delicious foods at the Taste of Two Islands. The succulent smell of authentic Caribbean cooking from food and beverage vendors across the island should be enough to lure you to WTJX Channel 12's most prominent annual fundraiser. You have until 10 p.m. to get out to the Mark Marin Center at Antilles School to party with music from Spectrum Band. There is a free shuttle from Havenside for those who need it. All proceeds will support the Virgin Islands Public Television System, WTJX Channel 12. Be sure to stick around. Your News 2 AccuWeather forecast is coming up next.